Welcome to the new podcast, episode number 61. My name is Steven. I am joined as always by producer and co-host with the most, my man, Kelly. Let's get to it. We had one hell of a weekend of combat sports with boxing, KSW, Combate, America, and UFC going down. Hot tamales, tie in football into that. There was not enough fucking hours in the goddamn weekend. I need another weekend just to recover from my weekend. Am I right?
Days are too short.
Yeah.
I agree.
Exactly.
It should be like 48 hours.
Yeah, in a day.
8 hours of work, though.
I agree with that. Yeah, exactly. Now you're talking. That's a movement I can get behind. 36-hour days.
There you go.
We'll find a way to make it work. Slow down the rotation of the sun. The earth around the sun. Shit.
Elon Musk, make this happen.
I know, exactly. Make this happen. These are the real problems, people. These are the real situations here. Slowing down the earth so our days can be longer. Environmental disaster smaster. Come on. I just need more time in the day to be able to play video games.
That's what's up.
Damn it. Anywho, can really get behind this. Let's talk some MMA news. Breaking news from the week here, folks. First thing, I think the biggest announcement this week was that Brian Ortega is injured and is out of his bout with Chan Sung Jung. Who steps in, Kelly? But Frankie, the Answer Edgar, going to put his 135 hopes on a hold right now and go back up to the place where he made really well, 145, kind of the division where he sat the best in, and see how he fares against the Korean Zombie. I think it's a great matchup, especially for Korea to still get like one hell of a 5-star main event.
That's true.
Card, you know what I mean? Frankie Edgar puts asses in seats because he's always going to bring a good fight, and I think the other guy stepping across the cage is another guy who can also do that in Chan Sung Jung. So I think it's going to be fireworks. I don't think a lot of people are upset by that fill-in, and I hope Frankie Edgar got a good little chunk of a paycheck for stepping in on short notice against a very tough dude. But I got to ask you, Kelly, with the tale of the tape being well shown throughout both these guys' career, who takes it? Frankie Edgar or Chan Sung Jung?
I think Jung's to take this one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think he's just like too big, too good.
That's true. Yeah, he's much bigger. He's basically the reason why Frankie Edgar had to move down to 145. He's huge. Chan Sung Jung, the Korean Zombie, is huge for 145. He's got that great stand-up, too, that has caused problems for Frankie Edgar, and I think he has enough takedown defense to really give him trouble, and I think it's just going to be a night where Frankie's going to have to chase him. Chan Sung Jung doesn't have the best chin, and maybe Frankie can expose that with a little bit of his style, his, in-your-face, constantly style, but I think Chan Sung Jung, if we've seen historically, he plays very well to that style and is more than game to want to get in there and banging out with a dude like a very tough New Jersey boy in Frankie Edgar. Tough for me to say, but I think I got to go Chan Sung Jung too, though. It's just kind of an easy layup. I think it could go either way. I think Frankie Edgar is definitely a dog in the fight, but Chan Sung Jung, he's such on a hot roll right now too, and I just don't see him. I don't see Frankie Edgar really having much. I can see it being a decision, though. I could see it be a decision, but with all rounds going to the Korean Zombie. But only time will tell coming down. And that's a short notice fight, too, because I think it's just in a few weeks. I believe it's on the 20th, that card. So it's just very, very, very close. A few weeks away. Frankie Edgar, the ball's on that guy, stepping up to face a very tough opponent in his hometown, too. But, he gets a free trip to Korea. You know what I mean? South Korea, and I think he'll really enjoy it. Another late replacement here is Benson Henderson. It's kind of crazy how Benson Henderson and Frankie Edgar have such a 6 degrees of separation between them. Benson Henderson steps out of his bout with Michael Chandler, and Sidney Outlaw, coming fresh off his win of Roger Horta, is going to take his grappling strength against another very tough grappler in himself in Michael Chandler, going down in Bellator's year-end card. So a good replacement. Sidney Outlaw, from what I saw from him, kind of more of a boring wrestler. in his smothering kind of Roger Huerta. He had a great ground game. He knew what he needed to do. He had great takedowns, and he took him down, but obviously he's going to have a much, much harder time in probably one of the other best grapplers at 155 in the Bellator division. In Michael Chandler. So, I actually enjoy the matchup. I think it could be actually pretty good for two grapplers. They may go at it and then maybe actually be a very decent fight. I hope it isn't going to be one of the boring fights that usually Michael Chandler does put up, but I think that hopefully, Sidney Outlaw takes this opportunity in stride and uses the most of it and tries to get the W going for, maybe taking some chances and going for it. But nonetheless, I still enjoy that, and any way you slice it, it's a good replacement for Bellator's, for Bellator to be able to replace the likes of Benson Henderson, Kelly, that's tough to do for a division that, they do have a good 155-pound division, but still, Benson Henderson's their big-ticket guy from the UFC, that they have. So I think they found a pretty decent guy with a quick turnaround. Sidney Outlaw just fighting just last month in Israel, but I think it's going to be a good matchup. Going down in Japan now, too. Big announcement out of the UFC will be Corey Overtime Anderson taking on Jan Blachowicz, going down February 15th. I think it's going to have to be a number one contender bout, really. You know what I mean, Kelly? You know what I'm saying? Whatever happened to Thiago Santos, though? Did he get injured that badly in his battle versus John Jones? I don't think he's fought since John Jones. And Trevor Smith, too. Where are those two dudes? Both former title contenders. They both had their shot and both got beat. But where have those guys been in the mix? They've really, without those two dudes at the 205, they are very depleted. And this shows it right here that we basically have Corey Anderson versus Jan Blachowicz basically for a title elimination bout. So it's kind of weird. That both those dudes would even get half a sniff at the belt. In the heyday of 205, those guys wouldn't even be close to it. I like Jan Blachowicz. I actually do enjoy his fights. He's pretty good, but he's kind of up and down. If he goes up against someone tough, he usually loses by decision, and I think that's the reason why that matchup hasn't been made with John Jones. This is going to be a bad fight. He's got his good trilogy against Jimmy Manawa, but that's Jimmy Manawa. Jimmy Manawa's never really been top 10, and even when he was top 10, it was just, by beating up a few of the lower-end 205 guys at a time when the division isn't at its best. But, that being said, it's a decent matchup. I do enjoy it, but I just don't like the implications that it is going to be for a title belt. That's the only thing. What do you make of it, Kelly? Do you like the matchup, and are you going to watch it?
No, not going to watch it.
Wow.
Just kidding. No.
Banning it. He's going to boycott it.
I don't know. It's an okay match.
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
Yeah, I agree. I'll watch it too, but I'm just not super thrilled about it, but I'll watch it.
Sorry, I don't have more thoughts on that one.
I know, really, who else do they got, though? Really, that's the thing, right? Yeah. Who else do they have right now at 205? Speaking of 205, we got Johnny Walker going to be taking on Nikita Krylov March 14th in the Brazil card. That card really shaping up to be one hell of a card, and is being boasted with this fight here. I actually this is a matchup I do like to give Johnny Walker that redemption fight again. Hey, did that Corey Anderson, just speaking of Corey Anderson, did that Corey Anderson knockout get into his head? He's saying he's going to go back to his old ways of being aggressive, and obviously he has to, because being tentative and sitting back and not trying to throw a punch for the first round, going the distance, and getting knocked out did not do well for his career. Physically, it must be emotionally and financially. His stock crashed after that knockout. It was a bad looking knockout too. You got knocked the fuck out, and that's never what you want. So, huge loss for him. Hopefully he can get back in those winning ways. I like Johnny Walker. I know a lot of people don't like his showboatiness. I think it's good for the UFC, and I like him. I think obviously he just kind of looked human. He lost that aura of being a freak, with that knockout to Corey Anderson. And can he get back into a stride? Nikita Krylov's a tough dude. Krylov is a very tough dude. So, he's not given in a very easy bout, too. But I think this is an easy one for the UFC, because if Johnny Walker loses, they send him packing. And I think if Nikita Krylov loses, he's a two-time getting his pink slip from the UFC, going to have to go back out and try to make a living again, and hopefully earn his way back. Because he got his walking papers before, when he used to be called, I think his nickname is, he's had his nickname changed like so much. His first nickname was Al Capone. Terrible nickname. That's definitely a nickname he gave himself. You
It's
know,
like calling yourself the George St. Pierre or something.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. It's you know what I mean? It's like Nikita the George St. Pierre Krylov. You know what I mean? It's terrible. You know what I mean? Terrible.
John's Jones Bones.
It's like, hey, you can't use my nickname. I'm still fighting. Yeah, it's terrible. But decent matchup. That matchup I actually do enjoy because it has no title implications, and it could actually be a very good banging match. By two guys got to be hungry. That's the thing. They both got to be starving for a win right now. Going down March 14th. A matchup I love, and it's not the matchup I wanted, but it's a good matchup that we're going to get. Speaking of underperforming Brazilian fighters, Michel Pereira will be taking on none other than Diego Nightmare Sanchez.
So he is still in the UFC.
Yeah, he's still in the UFC. Yeah, Michel Pereira coming off that crazy loss to the local guy. I think is Connolly is his name. I think is Jeff Connolly. I can't remember his name. He hasn't got another fight since, coming up a last-second replacement and beating Michel Pereira. Pereira just gassing out basically in that fight, doing, flips and crazy shit, backflips and crap, gassing himself out, and actually ends up losing to like a absolute last-minute replacement, going up against a guy who's got one hell of a gas tank, probably known for the best gas tank in the UFC, in Diego Sanchez. And he's gonna have to be very, very tough on this one. You know what I mean? I think Pierre's gonna try to look at this as a good notch in his belt, but I don't think anyone can overlook Diego Sanchez at any time in his career, really. Has he seen his best days behind him? Far behind him. But he's still a very tough dude, and especially up against a guy who is known to gas out. This is the last guy you want to gas out against. And Diego, when he smells blood in the water, he's definitely gonna go for the kill. But a size mismatch, that's on this one here. You wait till we see these guys size up, Kelly, because it's going to be huge. Michel Pereira is a massive 170. He's gigantic for 170. That's why he gassed out before, taking on Diego Sanchez, who was really a true 155er, really, to be fighting. I think he's probably sits around probably 175, 180 is probably what he sits around at.
Yeah.
But
I think he was the 185-pound champion of King of the Ring at one point.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, and that's what he fought at on the show too. But so did Kenny Florian.
Yeah.
Too. They both fought on their Ultimate Fighter at 185. But definitely, naturally, with the way the sport evolved so quickly after that point, they obviously quickly both went down. Diego, I think, went down to 155 much, much later. Nonetheless, he did fight at 155 for a long time, even challenging for the belt against BJ Penn. And that will be going down in New Mexico, so maybe it's going to be, maybe it'll be Diego Sanchez's retirement bout no matter what. And, New Mexico is where you got to start at. I think you grew up in Southern California and ended up moving out to New Mexico when it was, massive, when Jackson Winklejohn gym was just gigantic, when it was just known as, Greg Jackson, just his gym alone. Jackson MMA, and now we see the evolution of all the fighters that came from that are all basically retiring now, with the exception of John Jones. But a great storied gym, and I think what we could see is a lot of fighters from those gyms in the Rockies and in New Mexico go at it, and I think it could be potentially the Diego Sanchez retirement bout. And they're putting up against a dude who could knock him out, and that's kind of what you want to go out on. If you get knocked out, I don't want to do this anymore, and I think that's what we could see here, going down February 15th as well. So New Mexico getting a card, that should be interesting. An elevated area. Actually, I think it'd be cool. I don't really know if they went to New Mexico before. Maybe once or twice. Very rarely, though. But for all the fighters they've produced out of there, Carlos Condit's another notable one out of New Mexico. I know a lot of dudes fought, travel there to train, but, obviously Diego Sanchez was one as well. But I can't really recall any other ones. But still, those two tough dudes right there. Very interesting news coming out from the Max Holloway camp, calling out Khabib, and he's going to chase greatness, is what he's saying, Kelly, going for the 155-pound belt. He's saying, fuck it, I want to leapfrog him, go against Khabib, and I want that belt right now, basically. Odd matchup, Where else does he go? There's no way he's going to 135, and there's no way he goes to 170, but I don't see Max blessed Holloway really even having a chance against a dude like Khabib. You know what I mean? Khabib is a big 155. You know what I mean? And I don't know, you know what I mean, that was obviously the fight was going to be rumored to, you know, where he was going to step in and save the New York card before the Dolly incident.
But he fought Dustin Poirier.
Yeah.
And we know how that turned
Yeah,
out.
exactly. Exactly, right? So I think, you know what I mean, the weight, because he's going up, you know, 145 to 155 is a pretty big jump. And not, you know, not in weight, but in competition. In competition, you know what I mean? You know, the dudes who can't make 155, they're tall, lanky, they go down to 145. But the dudes that make that 155 limit are some real badass dudes. There's a ton of them, especially in the UFC right now. But that's a great point, Kelly, right there. You know, he did have his chance in that title eliminator against Poirier, and Poirier beat him. And Poirier beat him pretty handily too. It was a good fight, but Poirier just had the edge. You know, you want to see. Sure, these are the, you know, when you're in that top 5, it's tough to knock out a dude. Because they're both the dudes are so good, but still, when you're already the champ of 145, and you're talking all the smack, how you're the best this, best that, and you kind of already did a little bit of a 4A to 155, and you lost. You know what I mean? It's kind of odd. Why? Who says you get to leapfrog the whole line?
And why would you fight like a strong wrestler, like 10 pounds above your weight? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. That's putting yourself in a very bad situation because, you know, he's not like the really strong guy. He can hit hard with technique.
Yeah.
And he's really good. But, you know, as far as strength goes, I don't think he's super powerful.
No.
You know, I think Khabib's just going to put him on his back and just do what he wants with him the whole time if they did fight.
Yeah, exactly. Submission and ground game has never been Holloway's. He's never even, you know what I mean, maybe attempted a takedown ever once. You know what I mean? I highly doubt he has. You know what I mean? And he's been taken down a few times. I've seen that, but exactly that. Odd. It's a bad matchup for him, and kind of a bad call out. I guess he's just trying to. I guess he's counting the days, and maybe he's thinking, I don't got a whole hell of a lot of time left in this thing.
He might just be looking for checks.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think that is what it is. You know what I mean? Like you said last show, Kelly. You know what I mean? You keep talking. You know, you keep getting all this buzz about you. People are, you know what I mean, people are going to start reading it and reading more and more into it. And hey, you know what I mean? Your name gets around and maybe it does get thrown in the ring and the fight does come out of it. Mm-hmm. But is that a fight he wants like, you know, not financially, but I think on his resume, I don't know if he does. Tough call, but only time will tell how that one goes down. But I thought it was weird. I thought it was weird myself. And, I think I welcome to the 155-pound division, just not a title shot right away. I think he's got to get in line at least one fight beforehand. Put him up against BJ Penn in Hawaii. Let's do it. Hawaii versus Hawaii. You know, even like the dudes like, you know, Jeremy Stevens or even Yair Rodriguez. You know what I mean? There's another tough dude. You know what I mean? I know both those dudes fight at 145 too, but I think there's still a huge lineup at 145 that he's going to have to fight. You know what I mean? And once again, we see a dude looking past a very tough dude, even though Alexander Volkanovski is short. You know what I mean? In the size matchup against Holloway. I think if you start looking past a dude like that, he could be in trouble because Volkanovski's not to be slept on. And if Holloway's already looking for his next fight after that, he could be in deep trouble. Deep trouble. We've never seen that look historically good. There's never been historically a good move. Moving right along, folks. Let's break it down here. Rizin 20. We broke down the Bellator card last week. I just kind of want to talk about Rizin 20 a little bit with a few more fight announcements being announced on that one. We have Yuri Prochayek versus CB Dalloway, kind of a weird one. Just because Prochayek's like so huge. We got Jake Hune versus Satoshi Ishii. The Lindsey Van Zant versus Rina Kubota. No relation at all. None at all. It's just the same name. Let's put her on the card. You got the same name. Patchy Mix, going to take on Yuki Montoya. That should be a good one. Patchy Mick being the Bellator guy to come over. And Patricky Pitbull Freire taking on Luis Gustavo dos Santos. And Johnny Case will be taking on Tofik Musayev in a 155-pound belt. It's actually not a bad card. Kai Asakura will be taking on Manel Cape. That should be a good fight, too. They have a few kickboxing matches going down on it as well.
Michael Vick should open up like an MMA thing and just hire all the people with the nickname Pitbull.
Yeah.
And they could fight.
Michael Vick's Pit Bull Fighting League. You're ruthless. You Everyone would get like so mad. That is too funny. He's like, no, it's people. Everyone just named Pitbull. That's hilarious.
Shit.
Well played, Kelly. Good football reference, Kelly.
I don't even watch football.
I
I
know.
just know he's a dick.
There you
That's all I know about him.
He's made his amends. Obviously, when the news came out, it was a time when I was really into talk radio too. And then when that news came out, I was devastated by it.
Yeah.
The details were disgusting. The details were absolutely disgusting and what went down. But I didn't know about that culture. I had no clue about that culture. And it's kind of like that's what's crazy is that a lot of people they grow up thinking that's normal. You know what I mean? So that's the crazy part about it. But obviously he was in trouble because he shouldn't have been involved with the situation he was in. And now he's in the NFL. He's a big, making tons and tons of money. He's a great quarterback, and but he still was about that life. And I think at that time, you have to leave that stuff, back in the streets, back in the South, and be better because of it. But it was kind of interesting. I didn't even know that was a culture. I didn't even know that was we're totally different up here in Canada. We don't have dog fighting league. It's not normal at all. It's not normal at all. But down there in some neighborhoods in the South especially, dog fighting is a daily occurrence. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But well put on that one, Kelly. Send all your hate mail to us at and new podcast. The Stephen and Kelly and new podcast.
Just jokes.
No, I loved it. But Rizin 20 going down December 31st. I'm liking it. Year-end show. Always love the year-end shows. I always like waking up on New Year's Day and finding out what happened. One thing I gotta briefly touch base on is a return to the WWE. Huge news, Kelly, of Johnny Morrison making his return to the WWE. Huge news for a dude who could have signed anywhere he wanted. Basically got kicked out of the WWE, Kelly, because he likes the weed. Loves it. But
so?
I know. They just frown upon it. Corporate
What's
people.
their crime?
Corporate. I think that's the reason why he's allowed back in, because it's so accepted. It's really accepted in the States. To be able to smoke weed. So
Does it kill your motivation to inject your ass full of steroids?
well, the thing about this dude, he's like a workout freak.
Yeah.
Like he's like super, like he's from California. He's like a super workout guy.
Okay.
And so he's like straight clean. He just looks, but he's shredded. He's absolutely shredded, but he's never really done. So that's him, older guy. That's him as older now. He's 40.
Yeah, you can tell he's natural.
Yeah, exactly. He's all natural. Workout. He's just kind of he was always about parkour and that type of thing was his thing too. But it's a huge re-signing of Johnny Morrison making his return. Just the different names. He's gone with Johnny Blaze, Johnny Impact, Johnny Mundo was my favorite, Johnny Nitro, Johnny Onyx, Johnny Spade, Johnny Superstar, and Johnny Ultra. He just loves that Johnny, but to make his way back as John Morrison in the WWE is huge sign, with AEW signing up all these people. Huge signing for the WWE. They're going to lose some dudes. They're recently getting rid of some dudes, and I think this is a big dude to replace. Will he be on NXT? Will he be on WWE? I don't think he really cares. I think the other interesting part of it is that his wife, Taya Valkyrie, is obviously going to be coming with him too. That's huge news for her. She's from the island, actually, Kelly. So it's a huge signing for WWE. If they get her, she's actually a good wrestler herself too, especially for the women's division. She's been around, a huge name now too, and obviously her with it being a duo with Johnny Mundo, it's a great signing, and I really love the move. I really love it. Just wanted to briefly touch it based on that. We love you, Johnny Morrison. Any news you wanted to talk about, Kelly? Any news that was rattling around in your brain for the world of sports?
No.
Let's get to some video. I put you on the spot there, Kelly. Sorry, man. I put you on the spot. Let's talk some video games. Played a ton of Orna, say the least, but that bastard is back, Kelly. The guy's back. I guess he just was on hiatus or something. He was out of town or something like that. But it's okay, whatever. He's came back and he switched over to like the new like overpowered class, which is like the Bahamut class with a Crimson Gazer, and it's just like super overpowered, but he doesn't have that much hit points. So if I can get him, hit him hard enough, I can actually take spots from him pretty easily. But I'm actually kind of glad he's back so he can witness me crushing him, taking his spots, every spot, every notification, Kelly. The sorrow, I can sense it. I feed off of it. The sorrow that it causes him. I'm glad he's back. We got a good rivalry going because he can just take my spots. I don't give a shit. I'll take him back. I'll absolutely take him back. And he's still having to switch up to try to deal with me. And it's been funny. I still have my hometown area I got still, so I'm not upset with that. He, like I said, he takes it back. I'll just have to take it back from him. He did contact my buddy through Discord, say, hey, I just kind of took a hiatus. I am back. I didn't leave for good, but he's always trying to get us to join his team up too, because obviously we're a nuisance to the guy. It's total nuisance to him because we're just constantly fighting him the whole time, and it's just kind of funny. But like I said, good for competition. It was kind of a bit boring to be, when he was gone, I had really no one to fight. I had all this stuff and there was really no one to fight, but now I got somebody to fight all the time, so it's actually it makes the game a lot more fun. I didn't play a ton of Terraria this week, but just the grind is I'm kind of at that spot, Kelly, where the grind is, is getting real for it. It's just not that fun. Terraria grind isn't that great. It just, you travel so far and you go so deep, and then you're full, and it's like, okay, I got to go back up and get rid of all my shit, and it's like, but that took me like a half hour. So it's like, now I got to if I want to go back to where I was, it's going to take me at least 10 minutes to get there, 10, 15 minutes to get there. And then I'm kind of back at square one again, So it's kind of, the grind, we're just really getting grindy. I'm at a spot now where I got such good gear, to get the next good gear, it's going to take a lot of shit. But one thing we did find was cool was, my son he has a potion that would just warp him anywhere in the map, just randomly warp him anywhere in the map. So he would use the potion, and I had another potion called a wormhole potion, and it would warp me to him. Cool. So he would go to a certain spot, and then I would warp to him, and we kind of just would fight off of that. And we had a lot of fun doing that, but I'm kind of putting it on the shelf right now, just with my constant shuffling of this Game Pass. I played. My brother got it, so my brother he's switching over from. He said, "Fuck PC. I'm tired of it right now. I'm kind of tired of the constant updating of PCs. I'm going to play some Xbox. None of my friends play PC anymore, really. At different times. He's like, I'll play Xbox Game Pass if you play with me." I said, absolutely, yeah, for sure. Because right now you can get 3 months for $1 of the Game Pass. That's fucking crazy. So one game we downloaded, played a little bit of Crackdown together, which was a lot of fun. But the game we downloaded was Sea of Thieves. Playing with 2 people. It was a ton of fun, man. Ton of fun. They've done a lot of updates to the game to not make it so boring, because there was really only 3 things you could do. I played the game when it first came out. I got the Game Pass when the game first came out, just to be able to play it that way. And there used to just be 3 things you could do: collect animals, collect skulls, or collect chests. That was it. You know what I mean? There was really nothing to it other than that. There was really no special items, nothing. And that's all you did. Obviously, you collect money. The game's a little bit mundane, really, because you're doing all these quests just to collect coins to buy cosmetic stuff. That's it. You're strictly buying cosmetic stuff. You're buying cosmetic stuff for yourself or your ship. And everyone has the same sword. Everyone has the same guns to choose from. So it's really no skill involved in that, really. So, But we had a total blast. They have a new ship right in the middle. Before they had like the massive galleon or a tiny little ship for one person. Now they have a third ship, an in between ship, like a frigate ship. So it's kind of an in between. So that's what we kind of rocked since we had 2 people. It was a lot of fun being powering with that ship. We did try out the galleon one day too. It is fast, but it's a bit tough with 2 people to be able to control all the sails and all the cannons and shit like that. It is a bit it's a bit cumbersome with that. But super fun. Super fun to have a friend with it playing, because I'd never had a friend to play with it before. I just would play by myself. And joining random crews sucks. It just fucking blows. Joining random assholes just sucks. But the cool thing was these ghost ship. We came across a ghost ship. It was really funny, Kelly. We were just, going around doing our missions and shit like that. And I guess in the sky there's like a daily mission. There's a daily boss you can fight. So in the sky there's like a massive like glowing cloud that looks like a ship, and it's kind of glowing. And we just happen to be in that area. And then I'm talking to my brother. I'm like, did the music just get all dramatic on your TV? I'm like, are you getting like some super like chase music? He's like, yeah, I got some dramatic music on my end too. So I'm like, there's gotta be something around here. I'm like looking around, and then all of a sudden this ghost ship rolls up on us, and we're fucking hammered. We were ready for him. We were hammering with cannonballs. We had to have hit him a good like 6 or 7 times, just smashing him. But then he hits us with one flaming cannonball. Somebody sees this flaming cannonball come out of nowhere and hit us, and you didn't have fires in the first version of the game, and I had seen the barrel down in the bottom of the deck. The barrel that I'm like, okay, this must be where you get water from, and I didn't realize, but you got to pump water into the barrel, and then you put your bucket into the barrel, Kelly. Didn't realize that. I'm like, why am I not getting water? And then the next thing I know, the whole ship's on fire. I've died multiple times because I've burned to death because I can't get the water out. And it was just funny because like I die, like I'm trying to put the water out, trying to put the fire out. I die from burning. My brother's still playing. And so you go to like a ghost ship when you die, and he's like, we run aground. So like, no, he was too busy putting out the fire that we just went straight into the side of a cliff and smash a ship up, causing it now to sink. And yeah, it wasn't a good scene. So
so you won.
So we watched our ship fucking. We watched our ship burn to the bottom of the sea from an island. It was pretty fun. But another cool one was the next day. It was like a glowing skull cloud with like the eyes kind of lit up like lightning and that type of shit off in the distance. And we went towards it, and it was a massive shark. So that was really cool. It was a gigantic shark. And needless to say, not knowing what this shark can do, we got fucked up by this shark. It was just gigantic. And my brother was like, just drop the anchor. Because like what I had done, I'm like, okay, we're prepared for this. So I just hit the wheel so we wouldn't hit anything. I hit the wheel all the way to the left, so we're just spinning in a circle right in this area where this shark comes. I'm like, we can prepare for him. We can set up our cannons, and then we can gun him down when he comes to one side or the other side. And my brother's like, no, let's just hit the anchor. I'm like, I don't know about that, man. Sure enough, it was what put us down in Davy Jones' locker. Because the shark just came up. He was on the front of the ship with the harpoon. You got harpoons now. He was on the front of the ship trying to harpoon him, and this fucking shark just like chomped down on the whole front of the ship. We were and I was trying to hit him with the cannons, and I'm like raising the anchor, because raising the anchor on this big ship takes a long time. So I'm raising the anchor. I'm getting the hell out of there, and I'm like, I better check down below, make sure we're not sinking. And the water's already right up to the hatch. And I'm like, oh fuck! So it was like 2 levels of our ship were underwater, and there was no way I was getting down there to patch up those holes. And it was a done deal. It was pretty funny though. But it was fun. Playing with people is a lot of fun. But oddly enough, this whole week I played a ton of Oblivion. Game for 360. I've been talking about wanting to play it. I fucking absolutely adore it. It's absolutely amazing. I don't want to get into it too much. I'll talk about more on next week. But it's just a treasure hunting fucking Bethesda fucking game, man. I just love it. I just really love it. I don't know why I didn't play for it when it came out on the 360 originally. Great game. Really a lot of fun. I just like the whole layout of it. The battling and everything's really good. It's just in between Morrowind and in between Skyrim. Fun little game. But I'm going to download Ark. That's the next game I'm going to play with my brother's Ark. Play some Ark, and I think that could be a lot of fun, actually, too. Playing with another game I only ever played by myself, and it's really difficult by yourself, and I've already downloaded it to play. I actually own the game, so... and now since he has Game Pass, we're going to play together. I guess he's got a few buddies that actually have a massive kind of kingdom going on in one of the servers, so it should be fun to join up and see how that goes. How about you, Kelly? What games did you get into this week?
I played a bit of Division 2.
Nice.
It's getting a little bit tougher, like a little bit more grindy right now. So I haven't really played too much, but I unlocked a couple safe houses and did a couple missions. Still pretty fun though. It's just,
nice.
A little bit more challenging, so I have to devote a little bit more time to it. So like I just can't jump in and play because it takes a while to actually load that game because it's so big. So it's not like GTA 5 long, but it takes a while to load.
Yeah.
So when you play, you have to devote some time to it. Unlike a game like Apex.
Yeah, that's that. I remember that the loading times on Division were like just massive. It's loading up a ton of shit though. You know what I mean? It's loading up so much.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Nice.
And so I've been playing a lot of Apex as well. They just raised the levels, so it's level 500 now. They give you more Apex packs too in the first few levels, and I think so because they're giving away more Apex packs. When I logged on after the update, I think they gave me about 20 Apex packs, something like that, like free Apex packs.
Yep.
So I just opened them all. I got like one legendary skin for Bangalore.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it was nothing great, but it's cool to have those all those skins and stuff like that. Anyways.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, why not? Right? They're there for collecting, right? Nice.
So what they did was it's like 5% I think easier to get to level 100 now, and they just added a bunch of different like badges and stuff like that to when you're leveling up.
Right.
And so it's just. I guess it's added a little bit more to the game for the people who don't have Battle Pass and just want to level up. And there's more of an incentive because you actually get an award now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Were you already maxed out?
No, because you have to start at 100. Like they won't, even if you have like a ton of points.
Really?
They still won't level you up. So I'm only at like level 105 or 106.
Oh, okay.
Right now. Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, it's cool to get the extra battle pass. Battle packs or Apex packs or whatever you want to call them.
No, you like it. You know what I mean? It's exactly that. You know what I mean? If you really like the game, why not put some dough into it, right?
Yeah.
No, it's kind of like one of those things where just wasting time. That's kind of the way I felt about Outer Worlds. Decent game, but I just felt like am I going to devote time on this? And I picked a fucking Xbox 360 game over a brand new game. But I'm just kind of seeing it's okay, it's good, you know what I mean? But I'm just kind of already seeing like I don't know really because I've already heard it's not that long of a game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I like a longer play. You know what I mean? I just like having Oblivion there in my back pocket to switch up. When I'm playing by myself and when people are online, I know I can jump on Ark or I can jump on Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves to get playing with other people, it's a ton of fun, man. It's a ton of fun. It was a funny story too. Was that we were just doing funny stuff. We're always talking pirate talk on the game, and you can like drink on it too. You can drink and play different instruments. And you go up. I'm like, oh, you can fill up your cup. He's like, oh, okay, cool. I'll come down there, and it's like a tankard, so you fill up and drink. And I drank like 2 drinks, and like you'd get drunk, like you're all over the place, like your guys stumbling around, you have no control over them. But the whole time I've drank and then got all dizzy and shit. My brother's just been chugging and chugging and chugging and chugging. So then his guy like just starts puking, like projectile vomiting, like all over the place. Is like getting on the deck. He gets it on me, like actually covers my screen. That his like puking. So what you could do is you could like fire a puking guy out of a cannon. You know what I mean? Get him on the other team, and everyone's covered in puke, and they can't get it off. I thought that was so. It was just pretty funny. Was he just like puking like everywhere, and I'm steering the ship. I can just see him down on the deck, just vomiting on everything. It was pretty funny little things like that. It made the game pretty funny. Any just Apex and Division this weekend though?
Yeah, that's it.
Nice. Not enough hours in the day. That's what I'm saying. 36 hour at least.
I'm still waiting for that next big game too. Like, I don't even think they announced anything huge for December, like a Christmas release.
No, I think all the games, all the because they announced now the new systems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They announced the new systems, what they're going to look like.
That's for like 2020 holiday release.
Exactly. They'll be coming out next year. Exactly.
So maybe the next big game is another like year away. Maybe?
I think it is. Yeah. I think they're just like, you know what? We're just going to release the Call of Duty, you know what I mean? The Halo, and then we'll just be done with it until next year, which is very unfortunate. Breaking it down, all your cutting edge video game news. Yeah, I always love playing them. I can't wait to go home and play some more. Wanted to go a little international, going back international with reviewing the reviews. Let's break it down. Back by popular demand. Reviewing the reviews. I was gonna do London pubs, like a pub in London. You know what I mean? They're everywhere down there, but they all have outstanding reviews. That's the problem. They're just nothing but 5 stars because the place has been there for fucking 250 years. If you're a shitty pub, you'd probably fold overnight. So I got to go back to fast food. You can never go wrong with fast food. It's just the best. It's just the best. But one place that always is very strong in people's minds for poor service, whether it be this side of the pond or the other, it is KFC in London, Tottenham. I love this one. I love lots of bad reviews. That's what we're here for. Lots of bad reviews. 3.1 stars out of 489 reviews. And I love this. The one, I always talk about the tags on this segment, Kelly. The number one tag on this one, toilets. So you can tell it's going to be very interesting. It's definitely going to be very interesting. I love this one. Oh boy. This is, I shouldn't read this one. I shouldn't read that one.
The toilets were not clean enough to eat off of.
No, this one's a bit too racist-y. That's something I don't want to get involved in that. I know, I don't want to get involved in that. Some people gotta tone it down when you're reviewing stuff. Oh boy. Let's read this one here though. I love this guy. This guy's done DB 3 reviews, 5 photos. Didn't take a photo of this though. I don't understand. 1 star a month ago, and this guy is mad. The toilet facility are out of order, so you cannot wash your hands before or after having your food. The seats and tables are unhygienic to eat and drink. You eating off your seat? The members of staff are excessively busy to clean the seats and tables. They even forget to serve the essentials. He does an EG. Cups, plates, wet wipes. They forget to give you your plate. Just like dump it on the counter. Here you go. Pick it up.
Pick it up and put it on a dirty.
Yeah, we're out of cups for the gravy. I'm just gonna pour it in your hand. This one I love. The food is excessively greasy, which does not taste to my satisfaction. I didn't make that up. To my satisfaction, I would not miss it for the rest of my life. The litter bins are full, so you cannot throw anything. So, you're going to... Let me break this down here for you, chap. You're going to KFC. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Fried. It's in the fucking name of the goddamn place. It's going to be greasy. I can assure you that.
What'd you fry this in?
I don't want
the fuck?
This name was far too misleading. I didn't know you were going to be frying it.
Now give me my food so I can eat it on my seat.
I know. Please pour my gravy into my seat, please. I love this guy, though. This is exactly what I'm looking for. He's a fucking grade A psycho. Grade A psycho. Complaining about greasy food at KFC, and it's not to his satisfaction. That's what I love. That's what I absolutely love. These people expecting to have the fucking roll the red carpet for you when you go to KFC. Love it. Absolutely love it. Oh, man. Good stuff. Off to a great start here with KFC in the UK. This guy I like because it's a bit odd. I'm gonna read this one too. CA 6 reviews, 1 photo, a month ago too. I have not been to this KFC in 7 to 8 years due to it being disgusting food hygiene and staff. I think it's a double. Yeah, it looks like a double bad review here. Both by like 2 people or the same person. I went there last night, drive-through with my cousin, and as we finished up our order, a big rat runs out of the building. I quickly cancelled my order, of course, and drove off. As I looked where the rat went, I saw loads of rat traps outside, so it must be a huge problem there. Just shows you a name brand don't mean anything anymore. Wow, it's like a name brand. Like, it's not their fault that London, I'm sure, is infested with fucking rats. It's not KFC's fault. It's the fact that the place you live is like 1,000,000 years old.
Yeah, but it's a name brand. It's like the Gucci of food. You should have it there.
It's the Nike of fast food. I don't think exactly. What is this person thinking? They're definitely not the top end.
You wouldn't see a rat run out of a Louis Vuitton, would you?
I know. How dare they? I can guarantee there's rats in McDonald's there. I can guarantee there's rats at different places there.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't mean there's rats on the inside, you know what I mean? But still, come on, people. Come on. Give your head a shake. I like that one, too. I'm giving the first guy 5 stars. 5 stars for being a grade A psycho. I love it. This person, I'm only giving him 3. 3 stars for being a bit unrealistic. Come on. Let's see here. Another person. Everyone's really complaining about the cleanliness. I like this one here. Just saying the food is good. Weird. Let's okay, I like this one. Let's see how this guy did. Okay, cool. CC 6 reviews 2 months ago, 1 star. The award for slowest KFC in London goes to
I don't know if you have this power, but go ahead.
How the fast food awards, this guy is handing out fast food awards here. Seriously, their system has to change. Once I ordered, it took 20 minutes for them to put the chicken in a box because they had a backlog of orders and literally process each order one at a time. Service staff doing vertically nothing. They're doing vertically. Virtually.
I love how this guy walks in there and there's like so many people ahead of him.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, I'll take no time. It'll take no time for us to get through here.
I know, exactly. I know. Exactly. What did you expect? And the staff is doing vertically, not virtually, vertically nothing.
And he says like if there's like 20 people ahead of him and it takes him 20 minutes, that's like a minute per person. That's not too bad.
Big ups guy whose only job is reading out numbers every few minutes. Can't even pour the drinks, mate. Joke. I don't understand. Big ups guy whose only job is reading out the numbers every few minutes. Can't even pour the drinks, mate. Weird. Yeah, I don't understand where he's going with that one. British people. Weird. I guess he's just saying one guy's there just yelling out the numbers, I guess. Like 48. You know what I mean? To come pick up your food.
Yeah, like I guess sometimes when I go to a fast food restaurant, one guy will put the order together, put it on the counter, and just call it out.
That's his job.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the play is a drink guy as well, though. So
to expedite, what are they going to have people coming and going, and then shit's all going to be messed up, and you're going to bitch about that?
I don't know if I want the guy mixing like the sugar and coffee and everything like that. If you're gonna actually be handing people food and stuff as well, I don't know.
No, it's one person's job.
Yeah,
this guy doesn't know shit. 1 star review for you, CC, for not knowing shit about fast food.
Yeah, fuck you. No,
yeah. Oh, this I love. This I love. This guy here, because I don't think he has a clue about how doing a review, and I love it for it. I love you for it. But it's a kind-hearted review. I gotta read this one. I think I'm gonna say this guy's name. I think I'm gonna say his username. Should I say it? I'm gonna say it. It's Gerald O'Rourke. 2 months ago, 17 reviews, 7 photos. I love it because this is so kind-hearted. It's just genuine. Hello, it's Gerald O'Rourke in KFC. It's very good, but not too bad. But it's not as good as it used to be. But everything is all right. But I'll give it 4 stars, thanks. From Gerald. I just love that. I give you 5 stars. That's the best review I've ever heard in my life. Very honest. It is. It's not as good as it used to be. But he does like going there, so I'm going to give him 4 stars. It does not get honest. This guy has got to be the most genuine person I have ever seen leave a review. Good for you, Gerald. Good for you, man. I love that. Oh, okay. I'm going to this for another person talking about rats everywhere. I was looking for the one review. I couldn't find the one review here. Oh, here we go. They're saying food is good. They were upset because someone who ordered after them got their order before them.
What a dick move.
This guy looks like he took a picture on a flip phone. Look at the quality of that picture. That's terrible.
Yeah. That's
weird. Can't even tell what the hell's going on there. All right, gonna go for one last one here. AM 22 reviews, 104 photos, 1 star, 4 months ago. Right, we got a delivery last night. Half the food arrived when, as I was eating, we realized the hash browns were missing. Hash browns? You get hash browns out there? Interesting. At KFC? I guess, it's kind of like Taco Bell. They give out hash browns. Here's, tater tots or Mexi fries is what they call them. So maybe that's what he's talking about. Missing in 3/4 Zinger burgers. Very disappointing. Don't waste your time or money. Do not recommend at all. Learn something new. They got hash browns out there in KFC. Very interesting. KFC. Getting it done out in the UK. I actually enjoyed that one. Very, very good.
They have hash browns in the UK, but that guy don't have none.
He did. Ruthless. They may carry him, but you ain't got him. Well done, KFC. Always never failing to be terrible, but still somehow all over the world. I don't understand this. You know what I mean? Don't understand it. I don't like going to it either anymore, but it's always a great place to review around the world because people just keep going back. That's the weirdest thing. We will. What time are we at? Okay, we're good. We're sitting at a good time. We'll just take a quick little break here. We will be right back after these brief messages. If you're ever out on the street and you just need to fight a motherfucker, be sure to drink plenty of water after that scrap. A son of a bitch has got to rehydrate it. Am I right? Water, helping people rehydrate after beating each other up since 1706.
We don't condone violence on the New podcast. Do you ever lay in bed and wish that your head could be elevated? Pillows, helping people elevate their head since 1902.
On store shelves today, are you missing that accessory for your up-to-date brand new waterbed? Golly, I wish I had something to go with my cool waterbed. Water pillows! Simply fill your pillow with water. Make sure it's tap water. And now you can doze off and you'll be in dreamland in no time. Water pillows. Not to be used in water fights.
Warning, pillow fights may result in being wet or death. 80-pound pillow.
You just try to murder somebody. Welcome back, folks. Hope you enjoyed our commercials and go grab yourself a cold, tall glass of water on the house. Tap water, that is. Tons of fights to break down, but we'll just briefly get over the minor leaguer ones and talk a little bit about Combates Americas. I wanted to touch base on them. You know what I mean? I've always been talking about since day one of the show. I wanted to watch one of their events. It's their first pay-per-view, and I got to watch it. But let's break down Joshua versus Ruiz 2. You catching the highlights, Kelly?
I did not.
Was not very good. You didn't miss very much. Just kind of a one-sided beatdown, really. Ruiz, you know what I mean, didn't really have it. It just seemed like, you know, I know it went down in Saudi Arabia, but it just didn't seem like he had anything going. He didn't have the ferocity that he did in the first fight, and it shows because he lost and losing to Joshua. You know what I mean? And you know, everyone, you know, the fluke. Maybe was the fluke right? We'll find out. But in my opinion, boxing shitting the bed. KSW going down the weekend as well with there's Scott Ashcombe versus the returning Mamed Khalidov going down. Wasn't a bad card actually. It was, you know, pretty good actually. There was a lot of highlights, a lot of finishes in it. And it was I really enjoyed it. Going down in Poland, Gliwice, Poland. Good. I really enjoy KSW. They didn't disappoint with this one as well. Another long event though. The notable, just basically the co-main event was Simon Kolacek beating Damian Janikowski by TKO. It was a lot of finishes. I think they had a interim featherweight title bout as well. And look at all these finishes: triangle, Kelly, head kick, KO, KO, KO. You know what I mean? It was all finishes except for the main event. You know, where Scott Ashcombe, you know, really just manhandled Mamed Khalidov. He just didn't, you know what I mean? The whole fight, he just didn't really seem. He was content on lying down on his back and hoping for something. But Ashcombe was just far too good, and it seems like Khalidov kind of tired out with all the submissions he tried in the first round. The second round, he tried fewer submissions, and the third and the fourth and the fifth, he didn't do jack shit at all. It was a decent fight, you know what I mean? A good win for Scott Ashcombe. He played it safe, and he won, you know, the British fighter, and I think they need him as a champ, you know, with them wanting to constantly keep going to the UK and having success in the UK. I think they need him to be the champ right now. And at 185, you know what I mean? Khalidov, I think, will come and go as he pleases, but the dude is kind of in legal trouble, Kelly. He's got like the Polish like FBI on him because he was like you know, reselling luxury cars that were smashed up in other countries and then reselling them in Poland.
Seems legit.
You know what I mean? So I don't know what happened with that, and all of a sudden now he's fighting, and then like the video for the like they have like the kind of like the hype video for it. It's all like they're all in like fancy cars with like guns and shit. So it seems like really shit. It's like I'm putting two and two together here, KSW. Something's not adding up here. It was very funny. It was very funny. But as far as the decision goes, it wasn't terrible. That brings us to Combate Americas. Tito Ortiz versus Alberto Del Rio. Alberto Del El Patron, or just by his normal name, Alberto Rodriguez. It was actually a really good card. I really enjoyed it. You know what I mean? It was kind of cool. They had, you know, the weirdest thing, Kelly, Jorge Masvidal was on the commentating crew the whole time until the main event. Then when the main event came, he went to the Spanish commentating crew because it's obviously a very Spanish orientated show. You know what I mean? It's all based about fighters coming from, you know, Mexico and Central America and South America. Which I think is cool, you know, is representing the Latino fighters out there, and I like it. It was a cool event, though. I really enjoyed it. But they also have Juliana Pena, the Venezuelan vixen. She's also on the commentating crew. She's like the main color commentator. And they had Jorge the whole time, who was really good. But then the main play-by-play guy needs some work. He's pretty terrible. I know they probably got him just because, he's bilingual in Spanish and in English, but he was pretty rough. And, it's just the chemistry. I didn't see the chemistry there, and I think that was the hardest part, where Pena is very knowledgeable. Juliana Pena was very good, but it would look like it was a bit too much was on her shoulders to really fill in the gaps for the play-by-play guy who really didn't really know that much about the sport. And it's kind of like, I think he maybe watched, he was into boxing, and, it doesn't translate over too well. But they have this guy called like Rockstar Rob, and like he's like the ring. He like announces the people to the ring. You know what I mean? But he sounded a little bit like Machete a little bit. You know what I mean? So it was kind of funny like that. He's like, now coming to the ring, we got Dulce Garcia. It was like he was pretty cool. So the in-ring announcer was really cool too. So, and they have the backstage interview girl is the former ring announcer for Lucha Underground. So that's kind of cool for her, and it seemed a little bit unorganized in the backstage, just a little bit. If I could critique it, and I've seen a lot of MMA events, I've seen a lot of different MMA events all over the world. It seemed just a tad unorganized, just a little bit. But it was good. I actually really enjoyed it. They keep calling it La Jaula, is the cage in Spanish, La Jaula. So like he's entering the La Jaula. It was really cool. It was really cool. But one thing I thought was odd, I noticed in the beginning, was Tito wrapped his own hands, Kelly. He wrapped his own hands. So I thought, like, hold on a second. Now that's what I'm saying. It's a bit unorganized. How are you letting a fighter wrap his own hands?
Yeah.
I thought that was a little bit odd.
I'd ball it up right by my knuckles, so it's like, like super hard.
Why don't just add some fucking extra plaster in there while you're at it, or just some fucking straight up metal?
Yeah, man.
Even brass knuckles or something. So I thought that was weird.
But,
and that's when I noticed that's when I knew the main play-by-play guy. He was like, and look at him wrapping his own hands. You know what I mean? It's amazing. It's like, no, that's I think it's illegal. You know what I mean? So I thought that was a little bit odd. If anyone else out there caught that, I thought that was odd. Is he maybe recognized enough as a judge, or like as somebody who can wrap their own hands legally? Maybe he is. I don't know the rules, but I've never seen a fighter in any organization or sport wrap their own hands. I've never seen that happen before.
They should have got someone like Big John or something to commentate.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I think he's probably got a pretty good deal with Bellator. But I like Juliana Pena, but they just needed the main guy. But I think obviously they want like I said, a bilingual, a guy that's Spanish to be on the team as well. The whole thing is everyone's Spanish. Everyone's from Central America or Mexico or South America, or a lot of American-born Spanish people too.
Okay, so George would be good for that,
Yeah. Yeah, Jorge, yeah, big time. Yeah. I think you're saying like George St. Pierre.
No.
Terrible idea.
He can speak Spanish fluently.
Yeah, that's why. And the funniest thing was before the main event, he had to go over to the other table. And the guy's like, "Oh, I want to ask you a really important question before you leave." He's like, "I gotta go, man." It was like I said, it was so disorganized. You know what I mean? So it was pretty funny with that too. But Sexy Star Dulce Garcia, Sexy Star, former Lucha Underground wrestler, and kind of ostracized and removed from wrestling because she was injuring people on purpose. Gets another win by guillotine choke. It was a good finish. What was the other one here? A lot of, there's a few tough split decisions. Like even the Daniel Perez versus Yoan Nito was actually a really good fight, going on a split decision. But Levi Marroquin versus Enrique Gonzalez, that was a really good fight where Enrique was just really beating the shit out of him, Kelly, taking him down at will and just, having manhandling him and beating him on the feet. But Levi Marroquin gets the nice guillotine choke, and he jumped into it and sunk it in. He knew he had it. Very tough dude. He actually, this Levi guy, he actually won the first tournament on Combates as an alternate. He was only an alternate, and somebody got injured, so he got to got to take his place and ended up winning the whole thing. So that's kind of a cool little story with him. But the co-main event was a pretty big deal because it was for their women's 125-pound belt, and it was Melissa. What the heck was her name? Super Melee. Super Melee was her name. I love that nickname. Melissa Super Melee Martinez versus Dirty Desiree Yanez. It was a really gushy good fight. Desiree really got the second round, getting the mount and really putting it on Martinez, almost finishing it there. It got really close a few times. She was landing some nasty elbows. This Desiree Yanez, she is tough. She's got a big frame too for an MMA fighter. Like she doesn't look like she's not a fighter. You know what I mean? She looks like a fighter. And she had a really good game plan. I think it's just the first round, she may have let Martinez maybe tee off a little bit. It wasn't anything and super super exciting, but she let her tag her chin a few times. She walked right through it though, but I think the judges still scored the first and the third round to Melissa Martinez, but I actually had it the second as a 10-8. The 10-8 was the second round was such a dominant round for Dirty Des. But she does not get the nod. The judges do not see it that way, and they award it to Melissa Martinez. Is basically their homegrown star. She is their main female star. She's undefeated. She's been a fighter since she was 1 year old, Kelly. Both of her parents own a gym, like a fighting gym. Her brother is in kickboxing too, so she was born into fighting. So they definitely did not want their star to lose. But it was a good event. I actually liked the undercard. I think it was, for their first pay-per-view, I really enjoyed it. I actually did. I'll definitely watch more of the Combates America. They definitely talk a lot of Spanish every time they have an interview or something like that. They mix it up. They do half Spanish, half English. So it's cool for that. I mean, why not? I'm not opposed to it. Have at it. But that brings us to the main event of the evening. Tito Ortiz versus Alberto El Patron. It went exactly the way I thought. It really did. Tito just, pawing him and kind of landing some decent shots. Alberto Del Rio didn't look terrible on the ground, though. That's the thing. He didn't look terrible on the ground. He at first. At first. He went for a hip toss and kind of landed it, and he kind of threw a few good punches. He wasn't going down, but Tito did bet. He said, if you make it past the first round, I'll donate $50,000 to one of your charities. But he didn't have to. But he still donated $10,000. He said he'd donate $10,000 to him. Did last, when did it end? 3 minutes. He lasted 3 minutes. But I could kind of tell. You can kind of see with these dudes. Alberto Del Rio is like 42 too. Like he's not young as well, Kelly.
No man, he got head kicked to death by Mirko Cro Cop.
Yeah, exactly.
Wearing a mask back in Pride. I think.
Yeah, exactly. So you can see when the dude's doing it his shadow boxing, you could just see he didn't really have it in him. He's just very slowly shadow boxing. Yeah, I think he obviously knew that. Fuck, they paid me a lot for this fight. I've jobbed to a lot of dudes in real life in MMA, losing to Cro Cop. But now I'm a little bit older. I'm not going to bounce back as well from a beatdown. And once Tito got ground control, that was basically, it looked like he was kind of gassed. I think that's the thing about Alberto Del Rio. He looked like he gassed 2 minutes in. He was basically exhausted. You know what I mean? So it wasn't good for that.
Those late night games of Fortnite did not help his cardio.
What I love about Tito though, he came out to I Am a Real American by Hulk Hogan, Hulk Hogan's theme song. So I thought that was really cool, because he's up against a wrestler and, coming out as the real American, I'm the American, you're the Mexican, you know what I mean? So I kind of like that. And it was kind of nasty though, because Tito was he's all about Donald Trump. It's kind of weird. Latinos for Trump is his whole thing. It's kind of odd, what I mean? We're up here looking down on you guys down there in America and the whole fiasco you got going on. But as far as I can tell, that Latino people and Spanish people in America shouldn't be on Donald Trump's side. It just for me looking on the outside in, a guy who wants to build a wall and separate you from people, your family members, that type of thing. That doesn't necessarily have your best interests.
He does like that bad boy image though with that heel, you know. Just
I think that's what he was going with a little bit. Yeah,
playing with off the like Kobe Covington one.
Yeah,
you know, people like the biggest thing people are upset right now with all the Kobe Covington, Donald Trump make America great again thing. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
Might as well play off
I think that's what he's going with too, and that's why I thought it was a masterful move by Tito to get into Alberto Del Rio's head with the whole Trump stuff, to come out to a real American Hulk Hogan's theme song and a wrestler thing, and kind of get into, because at the end of it I didn't understand all of it, but Alberto Del Rio had like a whole speech about Trump. He had like a whole speech about Trump, about like how, we're family, people coming from Mexico are good people. We're not all thieves. We're family members, this and that, and that type of thing. And it was very heartfelt, I'm guessing, because everyone in the crowd was really cheering it. Just kind of a message. I didn't get all of it. Obviously, I don't know that whole hell of a lot of Spanish, but all in all, it's a good card. I'll give it a 3, though. I'm gonna give it a 3. Like I said, the disorganization with the commentating crew, I don't know. Hit me up, especially. You know what I mean? I'm Latino. Hit me up if you need a better guy on the mic, and I'll be glad to fill in. Glad to. He's got to bring Kelly. That's the only stipulation.
No, you don't have to bring me.
No, you could be there as you know what I mean, be like as my water guy.
Yeah, sounds good. I can supply
front row seats for both of us. Good though. Good, not great. Good, not great. That brings us to UFC on ESPN 7. Overeem versus Rosenstruck. Probably one of the hardest names to pronounce in all of MMA. Even that's going with all the D'Agostini guys. Jairzinho Rosenstruck. Jairzinho. Ah, damn it. Going down in Washington, D.C. Wasn't bad. It was actually pretty good. It was actually not bad at all. What do we see here? A few draws, though. Which is always odd. Tim Means guillotine choking Thiago Alves. That was a huge win for him. Even Thiago Alves was saying, I'm not done yet. Rob Font getting a big win over Ricky Simon. Ricky Simon 2 losses in a row now, and he was talking a lot of shit before this one too. How he's going to be destined for greatness. Well, you got 2 losses in a row, buddy. That's not a good start. Matt Wyman somehow still fighting, loses to Joe Solecki. Where was the twister? Oh yeah, Bryce Mitchell getting the twister over Matt Sales. I think it's only the second twister submission in the UFC, which is it's a really cool, interesting submission where you're using like a body lock, Kelly, and then just cranking the dude's head and twisting his whole body, but starting with his neck.
Yeah, it's nasty.
Yeah, super nasty. Yeah, good submission, but hard to pull off. Aspen Ladd versus Yana Kunitskaya was actually a pretty good fight. What did you make of that one, Kelly? I actually enjoyed it. It was actually kind of back and forth.
Yeah, I thought Aspen would win. But
me too.
Yeah, it was a really good back and forth fight.
Yeah.
Aspen, she has that crazy power for her weight class and everything. It's just, man, she just hits people hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that Macy Barber.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I think their paths are going to eventually meet one day too. But that ground and pound, I think, is what stood out for me. That ground and pound, she was feeding her right at the end there. Oof.
Yeah.
No way. She was all tangled up too. There was no way she was getting out of that not hurting. That's for damn sure. And then we see the Nutshot City. Ben Rothwell nutshotting the hell out of Stefan Struve. The first one looked a little high. The first one looked a little bit high. But the thing is that you don't understand is like when you get hit in the cup, the whole cup just wants to grab and tear the whole shebang. So I think that's what happened. I'm giving Stefan Struve the benefit of the doubt. I think he got hit. I think it grabbed the cup and it squished up his nuts once the kick grabbed the cup. The first one was a little high. Second one was on the money though. The second one was the worst of the 2 kicks, and that one was much more basically right on the dick. You know what I mean? You don't want to getting kicked in the balls is one thing, but getting kicked in the dick, that's not good either. That's not good either. And Ben Rothwell kind of protesting both times too, you know what I mean? And but kind of pouring it on afterwards, you know what I mean? How can you fight Kelly, you know what I mean? How can you really come back from getting kicked in the nuts terribly twice? You're agonizing in pain. How can you fight from that?
I don't think anybody ever has come back from 2 serious fucking nut kicks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just zaps your cardio. You can't think about anything but how much you fucking nuts.
Yeah.
You just want to go back into change room, make sure they're still there. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Like, yeah, man. Like, you just can't. I think it's a bullshit fight. It shouldn't have continued, I don't think, after the second one. He should have just called it.
I don't even think he got a point deducted.
I think he did the second time.
Oh, did he get a second time? Oh, okay.
It's
yeah.
like, if you do it a third time, you're going to get disqualified. It's like, really? You need to kick someone in the
Yeah, I know.
3 times.
Super hard? Yeah.
Like, to me, it all depends on, intent or damage.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if someone gets kneed in the head when they're down. If it's not like you tell how much damage it actually took. If the guy's wobbling, you might, give a point, or you're going to disqualify the other guy because the fight can't continue. Same thing, man. If you get kicked in the dick so hard that you're going down and you're fucking you know what I mean? Like, seeing him, he was in agony.
Yeah.
Is the second time that happens, you should just call the fight, in my opinion.
I think so too. Yeah, I think the ref had to kind of step in and kind of almost say like, "Hey, we shouldn't continue this." How exactly that? How is this guy gonna fight?
Yeah,
it'd be impossible. No matter who you are, no matter who you are in your prime or whatever, take 2 huge nut shots like that at heavyweight.
Yeah,
and then expect you to be able to still fight. And then, like I said, after the second one, he just swarmed him and that was it.
Yeah,
that was
like
it.
Getting hit in the head with a knee twice.
Yeah,
illegally.
They would have stopped it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But rough loss for Stefan Struve. Big win for Ben Rothwell, really. That brings us to the co-main event of the evening. Marina Rodriguez taking on Cynthia Calvillo. Not a great fight. It was okay, I think. You know what I mean? It seemed like an over-glorified sparring match in my eyes. It had its moments, but I think a draw was deservedly so on that one. That brings us to the main event of the evening. Yarzunio Rosenstruck versus Alistair Overeem. Good fight, unfortunately, with all those nut strikes and then a draw. You know what I mean? I had an extra 30 minutes on my recording, and I only got to see 2 rounds of the last fight. I was like, son of a bitch, 30 minutes extra, and I didn't even get to see, and that would only been. It would still would have been 15 minutes extra. You know what I mean? That was plus with the commercials and then just seeing the results. It would have been I had to record an extra hour. What the hell? Didn't take in all those nut shots that was going to happen because he was out for like the second one especially was like 5 minutes at least. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But
it was exciting, striking.
Yeah.
On your feet fight too. It's
it was good.
You want to actually watch.
I know.
I
know.
The heavyweights.
I caught the highlights afterwards. They were going toe to toe. I actually really enjoyed it. Overeem, you know what I mean. Rosenstruck impressed me with his striking. Actually, I thought he had some really good combos. I thought he had some really good knees and punches. He really mixed it up well. He's a big dude too. I think that's what helps too. But Overeem, just being the veteran of the striking, really landing a lot of shit right on his mouth. He was really tagging Rosenstruck. He was really tagging him throughout the entire fight, and really, I think, you know what I mean, in your opinion, Kelly, do you think if he would have been able to hold out for those last 5 seconds, do you think he would have won?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think they're already talking about, like, his next fight during the fight, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The commentating crew. And just, him trying to get back at the title. That's so confident everybody kind of was that he was going to win that fight. Just based on how well he was doing, how confident, how loose he was.
Yeah.
Just kept tagging him, just kicking him. It's just that last little fucking barrage at the end did it.
It's crazy, eh? Then to bust his lip up, or the worst lip busting since Robbie Lawler.
Oh, it was disgusting.
That was disgusting. Man. That was like huge cut. Like it was like it wasn't clean either. It was nasty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like, with Robbie Lawler's, it was just a straight split.
Yeah.
That was like a tear.
Yeah. This one has like different fucking tears coming from
all over the place. Yeah, exactly. Gross. All over the place. Yeah, that was super gross. Probably one of the nastiest. If you haven't seen it, check it out on anywhere. Really, the internet. I'm sure if you type in Alistair Overeem, it's the first thing that's going to pop up is this disgusting lip fucking split / tear. Yeah, man, it's It's pretty gross, but yeah, how crazy is that? A dude who has had so many fights like that, even Stipe, he was beating Stipe and then loses. You know what I mean? He was beating Bigfoot. Bigfoot even, he was beating the crap out of him, and then, kind of tired out a little bit and then loses as well in the later rounds of the third. And Travis Brown, too, another dude that Alistair Overeem was beating the crap out of and just, put too much into it and kind of got a little lazy then again and lost as well. The dude who's been, just beats the crap out of people, and then they just get us a little bit of a window, and they use the most of it at heavyweight, and puts them to sleep.
That's the heavyweight division.
Yeah, exactly. Wrapped up a little bowl. I think Alistair Overeem will always be a gatekeeper for as long as he wants to be. I think that's the reason why he does still fight in the UFC. I think he's probably making a lot of money, and I think probably he got $500,000 for that fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To lose even, he's a big player. He's been in the fight game for so long. He knows how to make money. He knows how to work out a contract too. But it was a good card. Good card. UFC putting on a decent card for the month of December. That's not a big 5-star event. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. Just wanted to give a special shout out to all the listeners out there tuning in every week, whether it be in your headset, your car, or in your house, in your bedroom, while you're making sweet, sweet love. Steven and Kelly and new podcast coming to you live. Check us out on Twitter @andnewpodcast. Just loving doing this every week. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. We always enjoy doing this for you guys, and the people just keep coming and coming and coming, Kelly. It's amazing. I love it. Love it.
Are we still talking about them making love?
Making sweet love to you, baby. Oh, shit. Well, yeah. Next week, we've got a major event coming down next week with UFC going down with Colby Covington taking on Kamaru Usman, UFC 245. Super excited. I know. Can't wait. The card is super stacked, too. It's going to be, the UFC's basically year-end card, which I like. And we will report everything to you guys next week. Anything you want to talk about, Kelly? I think that about wraps it up.
No, man. I just can't wait for that next week.
Me too.
That fight, man. Colby Covington, Usman, Amanda Nunes.
Yeah.
Max Holloway.
Yep.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. 3 title events. 3 title shots, and no one got injured yet.
Yeah, man. Is it after that with the Khabib Ferguson one?
I think that's in April or something, though.
Shit,
Yeah, that's a ways away. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the next closest one is going to be February with John Jones. Maybe they're going to announce something for January.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll find out. Because I think early February, though, is John Jones versus Dominic Reyes.
That would be bad if Conor came back in January.
Oh, no, he is. Yeah, he is. January 18th.
Okay,
he is.
so
That's their big one. Yeah.
So that's the next
big
one.
Yeah. And that's a lot of good fights on that one, too. Well, then that about wraps it up for producer and co-host Kelly. My name is Steven, and you've been listening to the